Adelaide United are back at home for the second time in 5 days, desperate for a win after a chastening week in the Liberty A-League, where they were stunned in back-to-back matches by sides below them on the table. But they'll have to overcome a poor record at their new home, the $26 million State Centre of Football. It's proven a stumbling block with just one win across their 3 matches here since it was opened last year. It's something Melbourne City will look to exploit as they too look to recover from a stunning defeat, losing to second bottom Western Sydney on Sunday. And for the Reds, just the one change for Adrian Stenter's Adelaide, with Mecha Westland making her first Liberty A-League start for the Reds. She comes in for the injured Jenna McCormick. Adelaide's all-time leading goal scorer in the A-League Women's, Chelsea Dorber, plays her 50th match in the competition. And 17-year-old Sasha Curry comes onto the bench for the first time in the A-League Women's. She's a South Australian product who's been part of Junior Matilda's camps over the last year. Dario Vidicic has rung the changes after City's upset loss to Western Sydney. Former Red Melissa Barbieri comes back into the side in goals for her second start of the season, with Sally James to the bench, while Adelaide product Emma Checker is back to full fitness, so she comes in to captain the team at centre back, with Naomi Chinamar to the pine. American Julia Grosso is also back into the starting side after 2 matches off the bench, meaning Letitia McKenna drops out of the starting 11. Well, for the first time under Adrian Stenter, the Reds have lost back-to-back matches, which probably shows you what a top job the Liberty A-League's Coach of the Year of last season has done. But he won't want that record to stretch to 3 matches without a win. So a lot riding on this one tonight for Adelaide at home. And joining myself, Ben Homer, in commentary is young Matilda's coach Leah Blaney. And Leah, this is an exciting one in Adelaide. 2 sides who, at this point of the season, you probably wouldn't have expected them to lose the matches they have, and they can't afford a loss tonight.
It certainly is, Ben, and you touched on it. Stenter's going to be looking to not go consecutive games with losses, and Vidicic, it's going to be interesting to see how him and Melbourne City bounce back.
Emma Checker, of course, slotting into that centre-back role. And as we touched on, the issues for the Reds with Ella Tonkin and also Jenna McCormick, both the preferred starting centre-back options this season alongside Waldus, injured at the moment. So how Adelaide go in that department, well, that will be answered over the next 90 minutes. Service FM Stadium, the venue for this one in round 10 of the Liberty A-League. So after upset defeats, Adelaide and City get to prove they are still a premiership threat tonight, because Leah Blaney lost for either side, and those 2 clubs in the top 2, Sydney and Western United, well, they could put a gap on them.
They certainly could, and as we've seen in the results over the weekend and the Western United and Sydney FC result just recently, Ben, anything can happen in this A-League.
Yeah, what a season. Western United getting that huge win, continuing that unbeaten run to the season, that incredible record for the green and black. And Sydney FC also sitting pretty nicely up the top, just their second defeat of the season. They lost to the Reds in round 1, and now of course to Western United today. So the issue for these 2 sides is that they will have played equal or more matches when compared with Western United, and they are behind them on the table, so they need 3 competition points. And here's Leah Davidson looking to slide it in behind for Briley Henry. An early chance here for City. Crosses into the box. Wilkinson, chasing a first of the season, was so close to being on the end of it.
And that's a fantastic delivery by Briley Henry. It's well weighted. It's into the path of Wilkinson. It's a great delivery from a wide area.
Looking to prove a point, Melbourne City, quite obviously, after that disappointing defeat on Sunday.
They certainly are, and I'll just touch on the well-weighted pass by Leah Davidson there that splits the defence. Tonight's certainly a very important game for City, and we're looking at them right now almost in tournament mode with consecutive games.
Hodgson, ball across for their first chance at goal. What about that clearance from Bowen? Not her best, and almost afforded Adelaide another opportunity. So Adelaide now looking to apply the pressure to Melbourne City's backline, which did leak a couple of goals on Sunday against Western Sydney. To be fair, there weren't a whole lot defensively they could do about the first one from Sheridan Gallagher. That was just an incredible goal. The second one was a great strike, but probably could have done a little more in the box, Melbourne City, to prevent Olivia Price getting the strike away. They're keeping a watchful eye now on Dylan Holmes. And Holmes is shooting, but she's going to need more power on that to beat Barbieri.
She certainly is, and it's probably a little bit of a wasted opportunity in terms of better options to combine at the top of the 18-yard box there for Holmes.
Just skips off the turf away from Haywood. Oh, that's a terrific win from Caitlin Torpey. One of the unsung heroes at the right fullback for City, but they give it away again. Holmes onto Dorber. He's their leading goal scorer this season, Chelsea Dorber, returning on loan from the NWSL, where she's been playing with the Chicago Red Stars. Just 4 appearances last season, 85 minutes, so really good for her to come back into the Liberty A-League, get some more game time as a young player. She's only 22 years of age, so much ahead of her.
Certainly is, and she's a pacey player. We know that if she's given space in behind, she's going to exploit it. If Chelsea Dorber can find a bit of her goal-scoring form this year that we saw last season, then we're going to see goals scored by Adelaide throughout this season.
That's a good win from Dorber. Onto Holmes. Slides in between a couple. And no whistle from Isabella Blaze. And you can hear what Adrian Stent is asking. He's asking, where was the ball in that challenge? He didn't believe City got it, and the Reds should have got a free kick. Wasn't the decision from Isabella Blaze. She's letting the game flow here. Holmes flicking it forward. How about that from Chelsea Dorber onto Haywood, but Torpey. She's an absolute jet, flying down the flanks, but the Reds through Dorber, bearing down on goal. Bowen got a foot in to block it. Torpey left it behind, and now Haywood measuring the cross, but into the waiting arms of Melissa Barbieri.
And the influence on the game by Dorber for the last 5 or so minutes, it's been excellent. We touched on her quality before, but anytime she's on the ball, it looks like something is going to happen for Adelaide United.
Hodgson. Dorber. Gets it through on the second attempt. Fiona Wirtz, a striker out of form at the moment, and is unable to get it on target, even force a save from Barbieri.
And I think the better decision in that moment was to play Westland in. She had Westland streaming forward. She was untracked by a City centre-back. I think it was the wrong choice to shoot from that angle, but we'll see it again.
Gets maybe a little fortunate. No, she doesn't. Policina. What a touch. Henry's in behind, but it was closed. There were 3 and 4 Reds that just converged on Henry. And Grove is looking quite frustrated.
And the key for City here is in possession to move the ball quickly and keep Adelaide moving and running. Conversely, when Adelaide have the ball, you don't want to be chasing in these moments.
And that pass from Dorber probably wasn't a bad option, but not on the same wavelength. Just a bit out of sync, her and Dylan Holmes.
Again, you can just see this pressing trap by Adelaide United, where they're forcing Melbourne City into wide areas and having to make decisions and apply pressure and make it very hard for them to build up with the numbers they have around the ball.
Sasaki's delivery wasn't a bad one, but there was no Reds player in Kui. Well, there was there as Barbieri was trying to clear it away. It was sold there by Caitlin Torpey. Torpey looks as though she's given away the foul and has. So set piece opportunity for the Reds. Stenter just having a chat to his assistants.
And we see just Emma Checker not judging the flight of the ball in that moment, and a little bit of a miscommunication and an underhit pass there between Torpey and Barbieri puts this City side under a little bit of unnecessary pressure.
A chance to exploit the space. Works charging towards the ball. But Barbieri again, it's been the story of this first half for Adelaide. A lot of their crosses have been picked off by the Melbourne City goalkeeper. So a stalemate across the opening 45 minutes here at Service FM Stadium. Adelaide and Melbourne City, they've struggled to score goals of late. Adelaide haven't scored in their last two. Melbourne City just one goal in their last two matches. And it's proving the trend is continuing this afternoon in the heat at South Australia. Adelaide United 0, Melbourne City 0. "45 minutes away. Who can get the go-ahead goal? Fiona Wirtz gets us back underway in the second half. Adelaide looking for just their second win at home this season. Service FM Stadium hasn't been a happy hunting ground for them. Melbourne City have been pretty solid away from home though. 2 wins from their 3 matches on their travels. So I'll be looking forward to producing some good football in this final 45 in what will be, Leah, cooler conditions than we had in the first half.
Yeah, it definitely will be, and as you can just see, Daniela Garlich coming a little bit deeper in between the lines there to receive in build-up, which might assist with this build-up play and being able to play through this Adelaide press.
Just incredible, isn't it, when you look at Melbourne City first 5 games, they scored 16 goals, average of more than 3 per game, with Koto Rojas playing up front as that central figure. And since she has dropped out of the side, with, of course, Wilkinson coming back in, just the 2 matches since then, and only 1 goal scored by Melbourne City. Adrian Stenter's team, well, they've had attacking issues for most of the season. It's just now they've started conceding goals, and that's led to a couple of losses. So a lot to prove in this 45 minutes for both sides. Are they a threat for the premiership? Nice ball. Henry with the cross. That is superb. And there is the goal that Melbourne City were after, and it's Garlich with her second of the season. But what about the pass from Pollicina to Henry? It was a picture, and Garlich with the finish.
It's a fantastic little through ball by Pollicina. It's well weighted. The timing of the run by Henry, she gets her heads up and she picks up Garlich, who, what an occasion for the 16-year-old. The score's a deadlock and she's taken the game on her shoulders. Exactly what we want to see.
2 for the season, and now a chance for Adelaide to hit back almost immediately. Westland just chipping the pass, maybe instead of shooting on her own. So this has made things very, very interesting. And now Wilkinson, this is a chance for the Kiwi. But Grove is able to thwart her. Well, how about this for a start to the second half?
Yeah, look, I dare say that was some halftime team talk by Vidicic, and as I mentioned, for the 16-year-old to take the game on her shoulders and show that winning mentality to be in the box and finish, I think it's going to set the tone for this half for Melbourne City.
Yeah, and we didn't really get a chance to talk further about the 16-year-old. As you said, Daniela Garlich played all 3 matches for your team at the World Cup last year, Leah, the young Matildas in Costa Rica, as a 16-year-old. Dorber with the cross wins a corner, and now Adelaide knocking on the Melbourne City door.
Yeah, she's certainly a fantastic young talent, and you know, we touch on the effectiveness she has with the ball, but her defensive work rate is enormous, and she's really a team player for this City side.
Dorber bearing down on goal. What an expert slide tackle that was from Bowen, but the chance still there. And Dorber trying to retrieve it. That is superb work from the New Zealander Bowen, given away by Henry. Corner on the way for Adelaide. So maybe they can find some momentum here after Melbourne City gave it away.
That's a really well-timed tackle by Bowen. It's the right decision to go to ground. Just notice the cleverness in terms of she doesn't collect Dorber, and it just shows the quality of Katie Bowen defensively.
Henry chipping forward towards Wilkinson. Garlich. Wilkinson returns it towards the goal scorer for City. Daniela Garlich is just a joy to watch, Leah. Hopefully we get to watch her for a bit longer in this competition, but you get the feeling that maybe not.
Yeah, look, you always want players to play at the highest levels that are going to challenge them. So whether that be in Australia or overseas, that's yet to be seen.
Well, an aimless pass really from City. Doesn't happen too often. And now Adelaide urged to go quickly down their right. Sasaki, who's slotted back today into the centre-back role alongside Wilders, and has done a pretty good job.
She has, and you know, what a tremendous pairing there with Waldus. We know that defensively she's sound, she's a mature player, she's a good communicator. She's rock solid for this Adelaide defence.
Well, that was a rock solid challenge from Dorber, who's just feeling the ankles after that. Well, they don't need another injury. Oh, how about that? Hodgson rushing around, winning it back, taking on Torpy. What a run this is from Emily Hodgson. Finds Wirtz, who is offside. Now that is very frustrating for Adelaide, especially Emily Hodgson, who'd done all the hard work only for her teammate to be caught offside, as we just see that very brutal coming together there on the ankle of Dorber. Well, it opens up again for Adelaide. Can they make it count? Zhao Yuyi to the back post was where Murray was stationed. There's an issue for City in the box, and the ref has to stop the game immediately because Torpy is prone, and she believes it's a head injury. And this could be sickening, probably one of Adelaide's best chances. Oh, and the issue was she took her legs out, and then the whiplash as she hit the turf.
And we just touched on Pollicina at the other end in terms of the weight of the pass. Just notice Holmes being able to engage the defender and then slip the ball in at the right time for her winger making a forward run. It's an intelligent pass that puts her team in a good position.
Just desperate for this second goal to all but end Adelaide's hopes here. McKenna in behind, rounds Grove, and from a tight angle, she almost found the back of the net.
And that's a fantastic little one-touch pass by Briley Henry into the path of McKenna. McKenna's just taken a touch slightly wide of the goal. She had to take it inside, and that would have put her in a better position. And as you can see, it's one-touch pass by Henry, and then McKenna's just taken it a little bit too outside of that goal zone. It makes it a very difficult angle.
Dorber waiting for Holmes. Probably didn't get there quick enough. Now she is in behind. Dylan Holmes with the pass. Well, it was almost identical to the City chance in the first half. It was Wilkinson who couldn't get a touch, and on that occasion, Amelia Murray sliding in, couldn't bundle it home.
And that's a fantastic ball across the face of the 6-yard box by Dylan Holmes. It's well weighted, it's hit at a good distance that's away from the goalkeeper. Caitlin Torpey's actually done well to get in front of Millsy Murray there and just do enough that she's off balance without fouling, and it makes it difficult to finish.
Briley Henry has Carriage towards the back post, and a yellow card comes out the way of Murray.
And that's definitely warranted for Murray. And we touched on Briley Henry at the start of the match, Ben, in terms of whether she'd run out of gas or not. And we're in the 90-plus minute and she's still going.
Get the ball there? Or did she get a bit of Henry as well
I
first?
think she's just clipped her, yeah, a little bit late. She's gone to ground. Henry's done well to step in front of the path of Murray there, where, again, as a defender, you've either got to slow down or foul.
4 minutes remaining. McKenna says, I'll go for goal. The deflection is so favourable for City. And that should wrap up the points for the visitors. What a powerful drive that was from McKenna. We don't know whether it will be her goal, but if it is, it's a first since December 2019. So Carriage away from Tolland. Brilliant run from Caitlin Carriage, and a bending strike. It's an absolute beauty. Melbourne City on fire here late in Adelaide. 3-0, and the points are safe, and they will bounce back from that shock defeat on Sunday.
And I'm going to say it, the kids are good. You've got 3 players in this match under the age of 20, all on the score sheet.
Wow, how about that from the 17-year-old to go with the 16-year-old that scored the first goal for City, and the 20-year-old that scored the one in the middle. And Melbourne City, with a big bounce-back win, they return to the top 2 in the Liberty A-League. 3 straight defeats, though, for the Reds. That's the first time they have lost 3 on the bounce under Adrian Stenter. Maybe a little pressure building on the Liberty A-League's reigning coach of the year. But it's all about City, full-time at Service FM Stadium. Adelaide United 0, Melbourne City 3.